Good evening, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to the live watch along between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa in the Europa League semi-final, guys. Massive game, bigger than yesterday. 3 European Cups are on show today. 2 for Nottingham Forest, 1 for Aston Villa, guys. This is football heritage. Tonight, not last night, tonight. We hope for a good game, guys. It was a tough watch yesterday, but we really hope for a much better game today. Hopefully we won't pluck our eyes out of spoons and stuff like that, because you know what? 2 very good sides, 2 attacking sides. Hopefully we see a very good game, guys. Sides have been announced. All English semi-final, of course. Would have loved this to be the final, really. To be honest, we would love this to be the final. However, it's going to be a really good couple of legs here. Really good couple of games, of course, as promised. Guys, let me just bring in the lineups for you guys real quickly. Let me just get this up. First of all, I just want to run you down the Nottingham Forest line. They've got Ortega in goal, 4-4-1-1. They're playing today. They've got Ortega in goal. They got Aina, Milenkovic, Marato, Williams, Hutchison, Dominguez, Anderson, Gibbs-White, Jesus, and Woods. In regards to Aston Villa, they have got Martinez in goal, Cash, Konza, Torres, Digne, Tillmans and Onana in midfield, McGinn, Rogers, Buendia, and Watkins up front, guys. That's the teams there. In regards to the bench for both sides, guys, if we get the bench up, the benches are, anyway, with Nottingham Forest, we've got Lorenzo Lucas, striker, Ryan Yates, midfielder, James McAtee, midfielder, Matt Sells, goalkeeper, Delna Bakwa, striker, Zach Abbott, defender, Archie Whitehall is a midfielder, Jimmy Sinclair, midfielder, Justin Hanks, defender, Kian Willows is a goalkeeper, and Zian Julius Blake is a striker. As for Aston Villa, got Victor Lindelof, also familiar. Victor Lindelof is the defender, Tyra Mings, Harvey Elliott, Andres Garcia, Tammy Abraham, Jadon Sancho, Douglas Luiz, Ian Madsen, Lemea Bogard, Leon Bailey, Marco Bizot, and James Wright, guys. Those are the lineups confirmed, guys. The teams are on the pitch now. Looking forward to a very good game. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I really appreciate every one of you guys. Really good to have you here, of course, on the 4th. Is it the 4th watch along of the week? Yeah, it's a busy, busy time when you're getting at the end of the season, of course, guys. The games come thick and fast, don't they? I would have loved to be around during the treble season at Man United. Imagine a man of drama and that. Goodness me, would be a crazy, wouldn't it, at the end of the day? But guys, thank you for joining me. Hope you're well. Whilst you're here, guys, please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Big up Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good evening to you. Big up Ryan. How you doing, child? Evening, sir. Would you take Areola or keep Carrick? It's a tough one, mate. I tell you what, it's a difficult one. I don't think Areola is the best option for me. I like Areola. Don't get me wrong. I think that we need someone a little bit more proven. I do. If we're going down that road where, you know what, we need proven, we need, you know, someone who's experienced, then we might as well keep Carrick, because at the end of the day, as far as I'm aware, I saw Carrick play against Areola just a couple of weeks ago, and he sort of outplayed him. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. I know that Areola is a good manager. Look, they've got the big choice to make, isn't it? I just don't see the point. I really don't. I don't see the point of hiring Areola, you know, and getting rid of Carrick, in my opinion. I think it's 2 of the same thing. You know, if we're going to get anyone, we should fight for... Why don't we fight for Luis Enrique? Why don't we fight for Nagelsmann and people like that? Why don't we do that? Do you know what I mean? I would say. Bigger Antoine, how you doing, my friend? Good to see. I would take Areola. He plays exciting football, but it's not tactical football. And he was schooled by Carrick just a couple of weeks ago. Man United should have won. I don't want Forest to win Europa League. Come on, Villa. Why don't you want Forest to win Europa League, Chow? What have Forest done to you, Chow? What have you? What is it that is disgruntled you about Forest? Good evening, creeping there. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. McGinn and is there on the pitch. This is like deja. This is like sort of a nostalgia game, isn't it, for Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa? Nottingham Forest have 2 European Cups, by the way. Aston Villa have 1. You know, guys, absolutely. Yeah, look, for me, I'll be honest. There's not much difference between Areola and Carrick. I'll be honest. Honestly, when you're looking at experience, when you're looking at, you know, achievements, Carrick probably has more achievements than Areola, given his knowledge of Man United, his historical level of Man United, his historical achievements at Man United and stuff. Big up, Danny B. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Welcome to this chill along, of course. Good to watch a game where there's nothing riding in it from Manchester United, but may the best team win, guys. Absolutely. Because of Wolf, he is so annoying. Wolfie, not many people like him. That's funny. I've been on channels. I've been on shows with him before. I haven't seen him for a while. Yeah, not many people, not even Nottingham Forest fans, like him. And I've had a couple of big Nottingham Forest fans on my channel. Not many of them are really fond of him. Strange. Yeah, that is a little bit strange, to be honest with you. But is what it is. Can't like everyone. Everyone is different. You know. I don't mind. Can I be honest with you? I don't mind. The only thing I would say is that Aston Villa will have more of a chance of winning it if they get through. I think if Aston Villa get through, they have more chance of beating either Freiburg. I forgot who Freiburg are playing. Who are Freiburg playing, guys? Let me know. I'm going to be keeping also an eye out, guys, for the Conference League tie between Shakhtar Donetsk and Crystal Palace, guys. So I'll be keeping a close eye on that, of course. Yeah, Braga of Portugal and Freiburg. So the team that, gets through here, I would like to. Freiburg are not bad, though, to be honest with you. Game is kicked off, guys. We are underway in the game, guys. Hope you're all well. Thank you so much. Smash an early like, guys, for me, please. If you could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, look, Freiburg are playing Braga at the moment, SC Braga. Guys, Aston Villa playing in all white today with purple shorts, guys. So that's them. Yeah, not everyone's cup of tea. That's one thing I would say about it. I think there's a lot of egos within the circle and stuff. And I think that, some people, yeah. So I mean, what did one Nottingham Forest fan? He's been going for 60 years. He's got a big channel. He's got 50,000 subscribers, and he said to me that that gentleman there is not a real Nottingham Forest fan. That's what he said to me. Yeah, cleared away. Morgan Gibbs White. Here comes them there, just out. Here come Nottingham Forest. Jesus, good cross. It's going to go out for a throw in. Nottingham Forest be looking to start quickly. They'd be looking to start this game fast and frantically, of course. Victor Pereira is the current manager of Nottingham Forest, of course, guys. So, yeah. They've done very well in Europe, to be honest with you. They've done very well in Europe. You have to give them their flowers at Nottingham Forest. They have done well in Europe. To get to the semi-final of the Europa League anytime is really good, especially for the club the size of Nottingham Forest. But then again, doesn't football heritage come? Here come Aston Villa, though. Not offside here. Watkins, he passes it out wide here. It's a big chance for Aston Villa. They've got a chance. He's going to take his man on. Chance. And it's blocked. It's blocked there. Yeah, that's blocked. Close for Aston Villa. Aston Villa be looking for a bright start, looking to, of course, no away goals anymore. So that stress is out the window. That stress is out the window, guys. No away goals anymore. Here come Aston Villa again. Digne loses the ball. Yeah, no Murillo and no Sangare today. Funny enough, I was looking forward to seeing Sangare. Anderson, however, is playing. It'd be good to see a good close-up of Anderson today, but no Murillo and no Cunha. Cross comes in. Chance for Nottingham Forest. He took it away from him. I think it was, who was it? Igor Jesus. Was it Igor Jesus took it away from Wood? There's a little bit of confusion in the box there. He was going to take the volley there, but he took it away from him. God, blimey. He was just about to shoot Wood. He's thinking, my goodness me, what are you doing here? Yeah, he's not happy at all. He weren't happy about that one. Absolutely. A big up everyone in the stream, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Really appreciate you all, of course. Passed out wide here to Digne. He's going to bring the ball forward. Ball goes forward. Tries the long ball there. No. Yeah, hopefully the game is better than yesterday's game. That's all I was saying. Yesterday's game was awful. Big up, Greg. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Yesterday's game was really awful, but hopefully today's game is a lot better. Let's hope so. Forest going on attack. It's going to be a throw into Aston Villa on the near side. Of course, this is Unai Emery's tournament. This is his tournament, isn't it? unofficial adopting of this tournament. He is the what above it? Is he the most successful man in this tournament in the history of it since it turned to Europa League? Yeah, I think he could be. I think he could be. You know, he could be the most successful. Just as long as these two teams don't cancel each other out. If they don't cancel each other out, I think we're in for a good game here. The game does look very much open. It does. Throw in for Aston Villa, guys. Digne will take the throw in. Long throw towards Watkins. It goes straight to the goalkeeper. Straight in the hands of the goalkeeper. So 0-0 in this all English tie. I am keeping an eye out on all the score lines at the moment, guys. I am keeping an eye out. So I will keep you updated, of course, of all the scores. Here come Forest now. Well played, Aston Villa in the midfield. Done very well there. Crystal Palace have scored. Crystal Palace are already 1-0 up against Shakhtar Donetsk, guys. Crystal Palace 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0 away in Shakhtar, guys. I don't think the game is in Shakhtar, but they are winning by 1-0. Ciao. I never ever seen a manager like Arteta get so much love and protest from his fans, but it's a good thing he's staying at AFC. Personally, you know, Sarr was the scorer for Crystal Palace. Personally, I think that Arsenal fans are very self-righteous. Can I be honest with you? I think they expect too much. They're not actually as a big club as they think they are. They think they're an elite club. They've never won in Europe, you know, and I just think that they expect too much. To be honest with you, you know, let's not forget Arsenal were nothing before Wenger came in. Man United was somebody. Arsenal were nothing, and I think the way that other fans act is very, very, very self-righteous kind of way, to be honest with you. Big up, Rajat. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. How you feeling? Hope you're doing blessed, my friend. Yeah, and thank you everyone who tuned into Hussam's channel earlier on, of course. Always good. Throw in from Digne now. Again, long throw there. They're playing the long throws here. It's going to be a corner to Aston Villa. Dominguez concedes the corner. Issy is playing Freiburg. Who will come out of that from the semi-final? I think Freiburg, Rajat. I think Freiburg will come out of that. I watched Freiburg against Stuttgart the other day. I done the watch along for that. I didn't think they were that bad. Defensively, a little bit sus. But Braga are winning 1-0. Braga are winning 1-0 in that game in that other semi-final. They have started well. Braga have scored, guys. It's Braga 1, Freiburg 0. Tiknaz with the goal for Braga, guys. Tiknaz has scored for Braga here. So Braga started on like a house on fire. The Portuguese team, of course. They started incredibly well, Braga. Yeah, I was just going to say that because when we were doing the watch along for Stuttgart against Stuttgart against Freiburg the other day, I felt that Freiburg had their defense was very weak. If you know, both of them, Stuttgart and Freiburg, I thought defensively they were very weak. You know, not good at all, and the quality was a little bit low. I said, like, who's your prediction for Sunday's game against Liverpool? I'm saying 3-2 to Man United, Chow. That's my prediction, but I'm going to change that based on the lineup. You know. Don't forget, I've got my match preview tomorrow. Guys, it's coming out. Don't forget to join me for that. Here come Nottingham Forest, clear it away. No, it's crazy that Mikel Arteta has so many fans. It seems that Arsenal fans are okay with improving and finishing second constantly, and that get them over the line and winning. Because one thing is heritage for Arsenal. Right. The thing is, the heritage for Arsenal can either be what they were 5-10 years ago. They were a banter team. right? In my opinion, I don't like Arteta, right? I think shot from Aston Villa, good save there. It's going to be a corner. I don't like Aston Villa. I don't like Arsenal and I don't like Arteta. But, to be fair on him, I feel like he's a young manager. He's 43, I think he is. And to be honest with you, and I think he's going to learn. Look, he's in the Champions League. He's got 1 foot in the Champions League final, for goodness sake. You know how many Champions League finals Arsenal have got in their history? 1. What are they expecting? So as much as I don't like Arteta, all right, they got to be realistic. They got to understand who they are. Here comes a crossing, good corner, cleared away. McGinn tries the shot, completely miskits it. Sal, do you believe Adoni Areola is ready for a big job like United? No. I think it'll be another mistake, mate. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's the right guy for me. Can I just say something about managers? People get excited by these type of managers. It's just like Thomas Frank, the Thomas Frank kind of thing, right? And Glasner. There are certain managers, right, that fit a certain club. There are certain managers that do well at a certain club. But when they go to a big club, they don't know how to negotiate it. The reason is because of the expectations, the style of football. You have to start from playing a very pragmatic style of football with no pressure. Suddenly you've got pressure and you have to win games. Now, teams like Bournemouth, yeah, you got pressure to get results. Everyone does. But they ain't got pressure like Man United to win games. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I think about it. I think it would be a monumental error. I do. I really do. I think it would be an error. I think there's only 2 people for me, Nagelsmann and Luis Enrique. For me, Luis Enrique, number 1, of course, fantastic manager, as proven. And Nagelsmann, number 2 for me. I really do. That's the type of level, Raja. I think De Zerbi's better than Areola, but that's just me. De Zerbi's gone to Marseille and done well. That's the difference. But with Areola, I look at his CV and I go, why should Areola be managing Manchester United? And what gives him the right to manage Man United? I don't know. Just because he done well at Bournemouth. What we have to understand, guys, can I just say this? Yeah. Would Real Madrid appoint a manager who was managing, let's say, Espanyol in Spain to go to Real Madrid and manage Real Madrid? Would they do that? Would they get a manager from Getafe to manage Real Madrid? And this is the objectiveness you have to bring into these sort of conversations, because at the end of the day, we're meant to be the Real Madrid of England. We're meant to be the Bayern Munich of England. Would Bayern Munich go out there and get the, Cottbus manager? Do you know what I mean? It's just doesn't make any sense for me. Absolutely not. Don't you think that Bayern Munich could have cherry-picked all the managers in Bundesliga? They could have cherry-picked any manager that they wanted in Bundesliga, But they got company, which I think was a mistake as well. I don't know what's United. He is likely to go to Chelsea after we reject him. Yeah. Well, look, he would suit Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. I think he would suit a club like Chelsea. And I think he needs to go to a club like Chelsea before he goes to Man United. There needs to be that middle ground, not from Bournemouth to Man United. I think that is the mistake that we make. Now, as you know, we've been through, obviously, managers, like Candy the last 10 years. So I don't want to be making any more mistakes. What I think Man United need to do, right? Man United need to appoint a manager, right? And give him a year contract. That's what they should do. And then analyze it at the end of the year. That's what they need to do. Why do we have to give out 5-year contracts? I just don't understand it. Why? You leave yourself in a predicament. You leave yourself into a corner, don't you? So why would you give managers 5-year contracts? Now, give them a 1 or 2 year contract, analyze it after first year and see, okay, let's see, and put that in a contract. I know that managers are greedy. I know they want assurance. I know that they want, they want to, be comfortable and stuff like that. But we got to be looking after ourselves as well, Look, part of me feels like Michael Carrick, like before every manager came, they had an opportunity, right? When you look at managers like Pep Guardiola, Cesc Fabregas, for example, Zinedine Zidane, each one of these managers were given an opportunity, right? Now, the key thing here is that I look at the game and I look at the games that Man United have been playing, and I look at Michael Carrick and I think, you know what, should we give him an opportunity? I see the red flags from the way Michael Carrick plays. You know, now I was on Hussam's channel earlier on, and Liverpool fans would love to have Man United to have Carrick. You know, that is damning, to be honest with you, because that means that, yeah, they want Carrick so that we carry on not achieving as high as we should do. Now, look, there was news coming out today that Michael Carrick is playing a certain way, a certain style of football to cater to the players that he has, right? So he has not played the football that he wants to play. This is the narrative that's going around at the moment. He's not playing the football that he wants to play. He's catering to the players that he wants. So it depends. Raja, Nottingham Forest going forward there. Just a little bit sloppy this game so far, guys. A little bit scrappy. Did Pep go a bit after Ancelotti's stint with Bayern Munich got done? Yeah. Do you think Kobe deserved for a plus 100K a week? Personally, I don't. Personally, Chow, no. But then again, you ask yourself the question, don't you? If players like Harry Maguire are earning that sort of money, why Kobe Mainoo doesn't earn that sort of money? And this is where you leave yourself, isn't it? You know, if Kobe Mainoo's getting in Euros finals with England, playing for England, getting in the Euros final, getting in the England squad as a young lad at Manchester United, and he's getting 35K a week, do you think that's fair on Kobe Mainoo? That's the one thing I would bring to the equation, because at the end of the day, he should have been given a contract a long time ago. Then we probably would have had to pay him less than we paid him now. All I say is this, right? Now I'm of the opinion that I don't care what they get paid. Fair play to them. What I would say is that I just hope that they perform for the football club. That's all I care about. Do you know what I mean? I hope they perform for the football club, and I hope they earn that money. You know, that's what I would say. Greg, what I hate about managerial mistakes is that the entire club is set back is true. It takes years to build club stability, and burning through managers prevents that progress. The biggest irritation for me, Gregory, is that you always get a backlog of players. You get a backlog of players from your corner from Aston Villa, header, and it's wide. Poor header, guys, from Torres. When you get a backlog of players, you get players that from previous managers, like Man United right now, you look at their team, and we've got a backlog of players from different managers, you know, and it doesn't build any camaraderie. It doesn't build any rhythm or relationships within the pitch and things like that, does it? Raja, big up, Greg. If MU recruitment wants Baleba, may as well get Stiller, who has consistently playing for the first team with more experience as well. Yeah, and dominating. He's an absolute phenomenal player. I agree 100%, Raja. You know, there's many players out there that I would rather get. Tonali's another one. He'll cost as much as a Baleba. You know, Stiller. Stiller will cost less than Baleba. You know, this is what we're talking about here. You know, the problem with Man United, right, and the red flags have to be waving straight away, because at the end of the day, what they're looking at, oh, you know what, Baleba's easy. He's easy to get. Baleba wants to come to Man United. He's desperate to come to Man United. But why should he come to Man United? Why should we sign him? Based on what? A hunch? He's going to be good one day. We can't be looking at football like that. And I think we have to really think critically when we're signing him. It's a very big window coming up. You know what I mean? A very big window. We can't make a mistake. Now, look, if Man United went out and signed Stiller, Anderson, Tonali, and bought Baleba as a backup sort of thing, all right. You know, I still wouldn't agree with it, because I think we could have put it into the squad more effectively. But, guys, I think it would be a monumental risk. You know what I mean? I meant hitting the wrong manager sets us back. Yeah, it does. Everything sets. That's what it is. Players set you back as well. This is what I'm talking about, Greg. When you hire a new manager, you have a backlog of players from their old manager. It sets you back, because when you don't just sack a manager, you've got his players there. You can't sack all these players, and that's what sets you back, because the new manager might come in and say, I don't like that player. I don't want that player. He don't fit my style. Blah, 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 blah. And then the board are going to have to think, right, we're going to have to sell that player. We're going to have to sell that player. You know what I mean? And stuff. You know, that's the problem, the biggest problem with a new manager appointment, you know. But you can't just bring a manager in and not back him, you know. Big up Marcus, the legend. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Raja, need a manager whose genuine recruitment team has the site sync so everybody's on the same page. Absolutely. I think the club need to be on the same page. This is something, Raja, that I don't think we are on. I think since Alex Ferguson left, we haven't had a direction, you know, whether that be David Moyes, right? We've got that type of manager. Then we'll bring in a Louis van Gaal, a completely different type of manager. And then we'll bring in, you know, a Jose Mourinho, a completely different type of manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a completely different type of manager. We don't have a direction, what we want. And this is why Real Madrid and Barcelona do so well and consistently maintain success. It's because they are built from the ground upwards, from the youth team all the way to the first team. The managers don't really need to do anything because they already know the philosophy of the team, how the team play. They just need to implement it and they just need to be a manager, you know? With Man United, it's a bit like we don't know what we're doing. We play this way or we play that way. Which way are we playing? You know, we don't have a style of football. Now, I know Man United style from back in the day, but we haven't maintained that style, right? Barcelona, any manager walks in there will already have an advantage because you know what? They all play, they've been playing that style of football since they were kids. A lot of the teams that come, the players that come into the team, that headed back to the goalkeeper just about. And that's the thing. Do you know what I mean? I would say consistency is key. You know. Would you add Dalot today? Who would add Dalot today? Who would? What do you mean? Who would add Dalot today? Also, news coming in, Manu signing the contract. Yes, Richard, I think he's going to sign that contract, 150 grand a week. We are obsessed with Baleba. You know why, Leeson, isn't it? I said it. I've already said, like, you know, the mature person, me and many of us, I was a big fan of Baleba last season. And I admit that. But, you know, you're only as good as your last game. You know, and in this case, Baleba's only as good as the last 9 months. And the last 9 months, he hasn't been good. You can play well for one season, but how many players have had one season? You know, and those sort of critical questions need to be asked when you're talking about like signings, because Evan Ferguson, he was deemed the new Wayne Rooney at Brighton, right? And Man United were linked to him. Everyone's saying, have you seen Evan Ferguson? What a player, what a player. Next season, where is he? You know, this is what we're talking about. And where is he since then? Gone on loan to Roma and da-da-da-da. You know, and this is what we're talking about here. Like, you have to, we dodged a bullet, in my opinion. We should be looking at Baleba right now and saying, phew, we dodged a bullet there. We dodged a bullet. It's a foul. Onana fouls Hutchinson there. Hutchinson looks like he's on the floor. He's getting up. He's getting up. Big up, Raja. Other channels are obsessed with this channel is concerned because Baleba is not good enough at United. Can I be real with you, Gregory? Right? There are a bunch of fans in our fan base on other content creating pages and stuff like that who back players not based on football reasons. They don't back them on football reasons. Now, you can make up your mind on why they back certain players, you know, but they don't back them based on football reasons. Now, I have asked many people come on my channel. I don't just slander them. And you've been here, Gregory. I asked them. When they tell me about we should sign Baleba will come good. I asked them the one question, based on what? Based on what? A hunch? A hunch, right? Is that what we're looking at now? Is that how we're analysing? Here come Nottingham Forest, good chance. Cleared away, corner to Nottingham Forest. Corner. And that's the question I asked them. Based on what? What are you basing that on? You know? Raja. I mean, exactly. They are obsessed with Baleba because last year the deal fell through. That isn't good enough to persist with signing Baleba. No. And in fact, we should be looking at Baleba right now, Raja, and thinking, thank goodness we got away with that one because we would have spent a lot of money on him and he's not performed for Brighton and Hove Albion. There we go. But no, we're still persisting. We're still searching for Baleba and like Baleba. I think he's actually got. I think he's actually got bots, Baleba. You know that because he gets a lot. As soon as I say Baleba, you get people coming on like, "Oh, he's gonna come good. You have to give him a chance. He's young." And where are we going with this, guys? Honest to God, where are we going with this? You know, honestly, and everyone I ask that question, every time I ask the question, based on what? Why would we sign him? They can't give me an answer. Give me an answer based on something that is not a hunch, right? Give me an answer why we want Baleba, but not based on a hunch, not based on hypotheticals. Give me an answer why you want Baleba and what is the reason you want him. Please tell me, because at the end of the day, if you're going to do that, this is not a 30 million euro player, guys. This player is 70 million plus. This player could be the difference between Stiller and Tonali, right? This is Stiller and Tonali money, right? Actually, this is 20 million more than Stiller, right? And this is a Tonali money, for example. This is a huge chunk of Anderson money. You know what I mean? So we have to ask ourselves the question. Do you know what I mean? Gregory, the Dalot inquiry was in response to the mention of players abandoned at the club by previous managers. Yeah, and they stay at the club. I mean, Dalot's a representation of that. So is Maguire, so is Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw would be the first name out of the door for me because he sat. I mean, whether it's his responsibility or not, he sacked various managers, and that's factual. Do you know what I mean? And he's been here throughout since 2013. He's been all the way through, hasn't he? Anyway, Aston, Nottingham Forest are starting to get back into the game here. They're playing pretty well. Anderson here with the ball, of course. Speaking of Anderson, passing field there. It's going to be a foul for Aston Villa. No, play on. He passes out wide to Igor Jesus. Igor Jesus cuts in. He's going to get the cross in. Cross comes in. It's going to be another corner to Nottingham Forest. Hutchinson, not bad as a winger. Yeah, but again, listen, we got to remember this as well, guys. We've got JJ Gabriel and we got Shea Lacey coming through our ranks. We can't just neglect them, Of course, probably need. I'm so excited about JJ Gabriel playing next season, guys. I can't wait to see him, play. We got Jim Thwaites coming through, and yeah, we got to think about our youth as well, like these teams do. Here come Nottingham Forest. That looked like the foul. That's a shot by Jesus. Should have fell down there. To be fair, should have took the foul. I got you, Raja. I got you. Hope is not a reason to acquire a player before others who are already now. Raja, what about trying to sign Somerville? He's not an upgrade. That's the thing. I don't think he's an upgrade. I think he's a decent player, but Man United need to be going for the good wingers. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't. If I'm going to bring anyone from West Ham, it's Mateus Fernandes. That's the player that And again, don't you think, guys? Is it Mateus Fernandes is better than Baleba at the moment? Shouldn't be looking at Mateus Fernandes. He's been playing phenomenally well for West Ham. And when you think about Mateus Fernandes has been playing well in the Premier League for years. He played for Southampton and he was wanted by Man United back then. So shouldn't we be targeting Mateus Fernandes before we do anything? Do you know what I mean? Or João Gomez? Or we have to ask these critical questions. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Kevin. How you doing? Hello, Sal. Mark Rashford swap deal. Morgan Rogers truth in that. No. Can I just say something? Man United will not do any swap deals with Marcus Rashford. Can I tell you why? Man United will not do swap deals with Marcus Rashford because Marcus Rashford is a homegrown player, right? So when you have a homegrown player, you can't just swap Marcus Rashford with Morgan Rogers. The reason being, when you have a homegrown player, the money of the valuation of Marcus Rashford will go on top of Morgan Rogers. So if Morgan Rogers is worth 60 million, they will put the Marcus Rashford valuation onto that Morgan Rogers valuation to 90 million. So if Marcus Rashford is 30 million, that will go on top the 60 million, which is 90 million. That is how FFP works with youth players. If you've got a player that's come through the ranks and you swap him for Morgan Rogers, you're going to affect FFP and PSR big time. And that's why we can't do a swap deal. And that's why that sort of rumor there is a myth, right? Those sort of rumors I don't deal with. So here come Nottingham Forest. Oh, that was close. Will Carrick and MU risk Mateus de Ligt since his back is still injured and isn't looking good? This is a question we have to start asking ourselves, isn't it? What's going on with Mateus de Ligt? Is Mateus de Ligt going to be good? Well, what I would say is that Man United need to look at it critically. I'm very impressed with Mazraoui. Nus Mazraoui as a centre-back. I thought he did very well against Chelsea. I thought him and Aidan Heaven complemented each other very well. I'm a bit surprised we haven't. However, we've got Kokunki, we've got Maguire, We've got Mazrui, you know, and we've got Aiden Heaven. You know, we got Fredrickson in there as well. I do think Man United need one more defender, but you know, it does. You have to ask the question: what's going on with De Ligt and Nietzsche to an extent? You know, what is going on with those players? Because you know, we can't rely on injury-prone players. You know, we can't. And next season we're going to be in the Champions League, so we need a squad that's going to, you know, be good enough for the Champions League and stuff like that. You know, definitely. Richard cleared away by Aston Villa there. Where was I? Richard. JJ Gabriel will be the youngest player to score in the Premier League next season. So I hope so, Richard. He's very, very talented. A very, very talented player. Definitely. Silverback, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you again. Evening. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you back, my friend. Long time, Silverback. Good to see you. Gregory, Irish Bit. Evening, lad. Gregory, Irish Bit. Big up, my friend. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. João Gomez is better than Baleba. Yes, he is. Look, it's about performance, isn't it? It's about performing. That's what it's all about. Talent, you know, whether he's better or not, who knows? All I want is a player performing. And if he's performing and doing well in the Premier League, then I'll say, yeah, that player's playing better, so we should go after him. It's not that Carlos Baleba has not been, you know, has been playing badly for 2 weeks. He's been playing badly for 9 months. Now, this is the question that we have to ask ourselves. What's going on here? He's been playing badly for 9 months. So we can't just sign Baleba, you know, for 70 plus million, right? 70 plus million for based on a hunch, basically. You know, it's ridiculous. Big up Gregory. Big up yourself. Raja, media reports that Mateus Fernandes looks up to Bruno. Don't know what to believe. Of course he would. He's Portuguese. He would. You know, of course he would look up to Bruno Fernandes. I think a lot of players would look up to Bruno Fernandes. I think that Mateus Fernandes would be a really, really good signing for Manchester United. I think it'd be a phenomenal signing for Man United. I think I'd be more excited signing Mateus Fernandes from West Ham than I would signing Baleba. Baleba would fill me with dread. It would fill me with dread straight away. And I say, well, that's a big chunk of our transfer budget gone, you know, at the end of the day. Yeah. Baleba would be incapable of pushing Kobe Mainoo for playing time. They'll be complementing each other. They'll be playing together, Gregory. But one thing I would ask you is I want to ask this question. Would Baleba is Baleba better than Mainoo? Now, some people said to me straight away, yes, he's better than Baleba. He's better than Mainoo. And then I go, what is wrong with these people? Because I asked myself, based on what exactly? Why is he better than Mainoo? And people just don't have the answer. Afternoon, Sal. Big up, Marky Mark. How you doing, my friend? How are you, my friend? Good to see you. I'm all ready to beat Loserpool on Sunday. I'll be happy with Champions League, but don't trust the ball to get the right profiles. Big up. Yeah, it's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? You know, for Man United, we qualify for the Champions League, we get a load of money, and they don't spend the money, and we in turn help them. You know, and they've got to do the business this summer, and you know, they got to have a much better window than they had this last summer. You know. Big up, Mandem. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you again, of course. I don't see much truth in Rashford's swap deal. Just can't see them going anywhere near. He's already turned his nose up. But before, we can't swap Rashford. I said it before. I think a lot of people are misinformed about the swap deal for Marcus Rashford because Marcus Rashford is a homegrown player. And homegrown players would affect, if you swap a homegrown player, it would affect FFP and PSR. Man United would not go anywhere near that. It's not going to happen. Here come Nottingham Forest. Chance. Oh, a great save there. That was a big chance. Biggest chance of the game there for Nottingham Forest. Martinez with the save. That was a great save there. He should have scored there. Jesus. He should have scored there. It was straight at Martinez, to be honest with you. He was onside. Yeah, he's clean there. He should have smashed that in. Oh, it came off his knee. It came off his knee there. No, it came off his side, his shin sort of thing. Yeah, it came off his shin. He should have tried to hit with the top of his foot. How is that not a red card? I don't know, mate. I haven't been watching tomorrow. I've got to see it again. Saw some Liverpool fans say they can take a loss for the remaining games as long as they beat us. Now, don't be swayed or manipulated or or psychologically diverted in regards to what Liverpool think. Right? I know what Liverpool fans are doing. Right? They're playing down expectations. Right? So what Liverpool are doing, they're going out there saying, well, you know what? We already below you. We've had a poor season anyway. We don't really care about the game on Sunday. That's the narrative that Liverpool are doing right now, right? That's what they're doing. Don't be fooled by that old chestnut, because I guarantee you, if Liverpool won on Sunday, they will be the first ones jumping up, hold that, get that, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? So I know what they're doing here. I know it's a reverse psychology tactic and stuff. Kevin, I would take Ferdy Chatterboxer if he comes to the football club. I guess I have to back him, so Carlos Baleva. I would. He's the only player I would take from Brighton, yeah. And sadly, Man United didn't make that move when they should have made the move a couple of years ago. You know, I don't know why we didn't make that move. You know, it's crazy how we didn't. Marcus, I believe we should treat De Ligt's injury as this isn't coming back. He comes back, great, but back injuries are not to be joked with. If he's going this long, imagine when he's playing multiple games a week. We can't trust it anymore. And I agree. The back injury is a problem. You know, I think Rio Ferdinand had a problem with his back. It wasn't quite on the De Ligt level, but Rio Ferdinand, Gary Pallister had problems with their back. It's retrieved by the goalkeeper. And yeah, it does play a role in your career. The back is very fragile, you know, and once you've got a back injury, it's very hard to come back. It's like your hamstring, you know, because the hamstring, it never quite mends. Would a draw versus Liverpool mean Champions League football is secured? It depends what happens with Newcastle against Brighton. Whatever happens with Newcastle against Brighton, I guess will determine what. I think what it is at the moment when we're looking at the table. Man United are 11 points clear of Brighton, right? So there's 12 points to play for. If Brighton get a point, that's 12 points, right? But if Brighton win, it prolongs it a little bit. But if Brighton don't win against Newcastle, Man United just need basically a point. That's it. And then they'll go up. If they don't beat Newcastle, Man United will need a point. Because the Man United also, let's not forget, on far superior goal difference as well. Yeah, I think they need I think Man United have got 4 games left. So there's 12 points to play for. Brighton have got 4 points left, 12 points to play for. Brighton have to win their remaining games. If they don't win, Brighton, Man United are in the Champions League. They could be Champions League football by Saturday. I think, is that when they're playing Saturday? Yeah, against Newcastle. Nobody has reported Foden fallout with Pep and Grealish drunk on the street. If this happens, no Pogba or Martial at the club. We all know the mainstream media will be talking about all day. Yeah. But the difference is, let me tell you something, Ryan, about Foden as opposed to Pogba and who's the other player, Martial. Let me just tell you something about that, right? Foden is a winner. Foden's won league titles. Foden's won FA Cups. Foden's won Champions Leagues. Foden's won everything there is to win. You buy a little bit of leeway when you're successful. Do you know that? Martial and Pogba flops at Man United. Big flops. You know? Mark. Well, guest time will tell. Guest time for me to learn Italian. I'll see you in a bit in a year, my friend. I can't wait for it, Marky Mark. It'd be good to see you, mate. Good to meet you, of course. Gregory, several available midfielders who are superior choice to play for United. Stiller, yep. Fernandes, yep. Bayoldi, yep. Gomez, yep. Wharton, yep. Tchouameni, yep. Tanani, yep. Anderson, yep. There's loads, mate. Shall I carry on? Yavi Guerra, yep. Lamine Kamara, Lucian Agume. We can go on and on and on. Ariston, you know what I mean? Maybe Amadou Onana of Aston Villa. He's not bad either, you know. Richard, if Newcastle and Brighton draw, United are in champ. Yes, Richard, that's true. They are. The games run out. They won't have enough points to get it. So if Brighton draw, they would only be able to get nine more points. So that would be 10 points. So they're already 11 points behind Man United. So it's over. Yeah, Brighton have to win. And they have to hope that Man United drop points. Man United doing the Champions League, it's, barring all the complications and stuff like that, it'll be a huge bottle job if Man United don't make the Champions League. Honestly. It's Freiburg 1, Braga 1 at the moment, guys. Freiburg 1, Braga 1. Mandem, can Forest fans chant like they want their owners out, like we do with the Glinios? They fear Marinikas, and you think everyone that would want them out would suddenly start followed by strange cars? Yeah, he's a dodgy individual, isn't he? A very dodgy individual, old Marinikas. Marinikas is the definition of be careful what you wish for. Sacking Nuno Santos was a mistake. I know that they're in the Europa League semi-final, but they've been in a relegation threat all season. So yeah, I think sacking Nuno Santos was a mistake. But if they go on to win the Europa League, you know what I mean? We have to do the double against Liverpool. It's been a long time since we did. Yes, we do. Hopefully we do at the weekend. Sandra Tonali, is there a news out? Yeah, there is a bit of news. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano reported that he's not necessarily wants to go back to Italy. Obviously, there's rumors circulating that he wants to go back to Italy. However, reports are suggesting that's far off the mark, and he wants to stay in England. And problem is that we're not going to be the only ones in for Tonali. There will be Arsenal who are going to be going after Tonali as well. So it depends how serious Man United are. How serious they are with Tonali, Here come Aston Villa. Watkins on the ball. Good play. No free kick. I do as well, Richard, of course. Finishing third is very important for me. I don't want to finish below Liverpool. That's one thing. People glaze Blaber as if he'll join us and turn into Prime Cruz. Yeah. Why are they glazing Blaber? This is the thing, though, isn't it? But when you pose the question to them, why are you glazing him? And based on what? Why are we talking about Baleba like he is the rebirth of and Alessandro Pirlo, Andrea Pirlo. We have a character limit in our text, or I definitely would have kept going with Baleba midfielders. I know. Look, my opinion, right? Because I don't trust the board. I don't have, my opinion is this, right? I think they're going to get Baleba. That's my opinion. I don't trust the ball. Cross comes in for Aston Villa, cleared away by Nottingham Forest, free kick there. Back out here wide to Digne. Digne is going to get the cross back in. Aston cleared again by Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest will be feeling they have to win this game, get a win today to give themselves a chance, because I feel if Nottingham Forest go back to Villa Park, I think Aston Villa will win. I think Nottingham Forest need to win today, get a lead, today, definitely. Marky Mark. Why aren't we looking at Arthur Vermeeren? Only 20 and very good midfield. There's plenty, mate. Midfielders out there. There's plenty. It's strange that I think we are looking at Arthur Vermeeren. However, Man United are looking at about probably 100 midfielders at the moment. I think the Premier League experience plays a role. I think Man United need to look at things in regards to that as well. I think that's important as well. The Premier League thing. Cross in and blasted over the bar. Flag was up anyway. What's your ideal England midfield three during the World Cup? Ooh, Anderson. I would say Anderson, Mainu should be a midfield two. And as the attacker, I'll probably put Bellingham just about. But I would want Anderson, Baleba, but Anderson still, goodness me, Anderson and Mainu. If we play a three in the midfield, I want Anderson, Mainu, and Rice, those three. But we'll have to wait and see. Quality's there. They have to make the choices. They have to make the choices. I think Anderson, Mainu, and Rice has some balance to it. I believe. Yeah. I would be shocked if Spurs beat Villa at the weekend. Yeah, I'm doing a watch along for that, guys. Don't forget to join me for that one. That's going to be very interesting. Of course, it does depend on what happens at West Ham on Saturday as well. West Ham are playing, let's not forget. So Spurs are looking at West Ham to drop some points because Spurs could be getting relegated, man. Honestly, they could be getting relegated. So obviously Spurs are looking at that West Ham game with a keen eye. We're close to half time, guys. We've got 1 minute to go. Billboard time of half time. There's huge fallout of players at Newcastle and Brighton. They have issues with Baleba, but you won't see anything in the media. If it's us, we'll get hearing everything. Baleba's a red flag. He's a big red flag. That's what I would say about it. It's a huge red flag, guys. I think there's going to be 1 minute of added time, if I'm not wrong. Let's have a look. I think that Baleba is a huge red flag for me. I think it'll be a big mistake for Man United to sign Baleba. I'm saying that as a United fan for a long time who gets excited and sometimes overly excited by transfers. But I'm looking at things very critically here. I'm looking at things, from a mature level. Some people can't move away from what is good for Manchester United and what is good for their ego or what is good for their favorite player. You know what I mean? And I think we need to move away from that. We get a lot of this, this player FC kind of thing going on and stuff. Sean, would you buy Lewis Skelly from Arsenal if they sell tonight? No, I wouldn't, Sean. No. And there's a reason for this. I don't want any of Arsenal's halftime, guys. 0-0 between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa in the first half. Very scrappy first half. Nothing in the way of real chances. Igor Jesus, I believe, had the best chance in the game. Very scrappy, cancelling each other out at the moment, in my opinion. Someone needs to take a foothold in the game, guys. But it is 0-0 between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa in the Europa League semi-final first leg, guys. In regards to Lewis Skelly, no, I wouldn't. The reason being, I don't want to give 50, 60 million to Arsenal. So Arsenal go and reinvest that in a Tonali, for example. Do you know what I mean? If Man United are going to buy a right back, I don't want to buy a right back or a left back from any of our rivals. I want to get it from a club that are not our rivals. If the player's from abroad, fantastic. There's a reason why Arteta is not playing Lewis Skelly. He's on the bench. So why would we go out there and spend 50, 60 million on the bench? You know what I mean? So I would say, no, I would not buy Lewis Skelly, even though I like him and I think he's a good player. I wouldn't buy him. No, I wouldn't buy players that are not. He can't even get in the Arsenal team. Where are we going with this? Do you know what I mean? We need to stay away from that, because even psychologically, when you purchase an Arsenal reserve player, basically, it psychologically gives Arsenal an advantage. Because you bring in a player that they don't even play. And that's the thing. And it's not going to be cheap, guys. I told you, 50, 60 million, easy. Yeah, not for me, man. Not for me. I would much rather dig in the youth team, get Mantato and play him or something. You know what I mean? Or Diego Leon or something like that. I wouldn't want to give Arsenal any money. You know what I mean? Where were we? Let me just read this. Sorry, let me go back. Bellingham will definitely play as a long PR team. Yeah. What's happened to Bellingham though, man? What's going on? I think he's a very talented player. I think he's this is the problem that I have in modern day players, though, man. They haven't got the work ethic. They all think they've made it, before they've made it. I think that Bellingham's a very good player when he's on song. That guy, his first season, look at his first season. Look at the stats in his first season. Unbelievable. But then the problem comes is when players start to believe their own hype. And that's where the players come. And that comes from their surroundings and stuff, Marcus, curious, if Nottingham Forest get relegated but go on to win the Europa League, will they be allowed to compete in the Champions League? Of course they will, yes. Yeah, they would, yeah. And England will have 6 places. Yeah, of course they would. That's the rules. You win the Champions League, you win the Europa League, you go to the Champions League. Doesn't matter where you are in the league, It would actually be good for England because imagine that, though, a championship team playing in the Champions League. Has that ever happened before? I'm not sure. Let me have a look at this. Has a lower division team ever competed in the Champions League? No lower division team has ever competed in modern UEFA Champions League group since 1992, the modern version. You see? No. So it'd be the first time, guys. Nottingham Forest would be the first lower division team to compete in the Champions League. The first lower division team to compete in the Champions League. Marcus, yeah, the way Baleba has handled himself over this year has turned me off him, and he played well during the AFCON, but not for me right now. Yeah, he played okay during the AFCON. Had a couple of man of the match displays. However, it didn't blow me away. He went like, wow, I saw better players in the AFCON than him, to be honest with you. But I'm disappointed as well about him because obviously I supported him when we were linked to him a year ago. I was like, yeah, we should sign Carlos Baleba, blah, 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 and whatnot. But, you know, football is so... This is why I don't get it when people say, hold that, you wanted him last year. You see, that's what you know. Because people don't understand things change in football based on evidence. A player could be playing like the rebirth of Zinedine Zidane last season, right? And you're being, wow, you've seen that player. Look how good that player is. And then this season, he can't even kick the ball. He can't pass it. So are you wrong for believing him at the last season? Are you wrong for that? Exactly that. You know, football changes. So my biggest fear about signings, obviously, is that it's a false dawn, you know, and you know, players one-hit wonder. You have to be very careful of one-hit wonders, you know. You have to be very careful. Players have only played well for one season. You know, Anderson hasn't. He's played for a couple of seasons now very well. You know, this is the thing. Man United were interested in Anderson when he was playing at Newcastle. If people know, if they know, they didn't make the move though, did they? Unfortunately. Ciao. To be fair, Heaven has been good for us since he joined for cost 1 minute. Yeah, he's just the only one. I think Heaven needs to be in the England squad. I really do. I think Heaven needs to be in the England squad. Absolutely, 100%. Heaven needs to be in the England squad. I would say he deserves it. Left side is centre back. I think he's better than John Stones. He's playing better than John Stones. Yeah. Mandem, with Champions League secured, we clearly won't have time for players that aren't in form to come here and be given ample time to up to speed. We need players who don't hit the ground running. Yes, because by the time they're up and running, Mandem, you know as well as I do, we could be out of the Champions League. We could have lost the opening 2 games. Look this season. Because we didn't get Seny Lamans in time, right, we lost points. We wouldn't have lost to Arsenal if we had Seny Lamans in goal at the first game of the season. You know, we wouldn't have lost to them. We would have beaten Arsenal, maybe even. You never know. And we would have got off the season to a much more positive start. You see, this is what we mean. If we're dillying and dallying in the transfer market as well. And this is the same with waiting for players to hit form, waiting for players to settle down and things like that. I come from a generation where players used to walk into that team. I'm talking about Dwight York. I'm talking about Jaap Stam. I'm talking about Schmeichel. I'm talking about these players who walked into the team and like a light switch on, played, you know, and you know, it's like they've been playing for Man United for years, you know. Gregory, the bright lights of Old Trafford will be too much for Baleba. Remember, Angel Di Maria couldn't take the environment on Lewis Verhel. It wasn't Di Maria. It was nothing to do with Man United. He played for Real Madrid, one of the biggest clubs in the world. It had nothing to do with Man United's bright lights. Di Maria didn't perform for Manchester United. Number one, because Louis van Gaal's tactics were very blunt. Louis van Gaal would mix a team with players like Falcao and players like Di Maria with players like Paddy McNair, Tyler Blackett, Bothwick Jackson, and people like that, right? He also had his house burgled, right? So when he came into Man United, his family were already on a negative, right? So that's why Di Maria did not perform for Man United. You could say about the bright lights of Old Trafford for Baleba, but for Di Maria, I'm not going to put that in the equation. That guy's won a bloody World Cup, you know what I mean? And he's won. Before he came to Man United, he was a European champion, mate. You know what I mean? So it was to do with his house being burgled, number one. Tactically, with Louis van Gaal, I never felt that Louis van Gaal was the right manager for Man United. Absolutely stupid appointment. Never rated him. And another one of many mistakes that Man United have made. And yeah, look, Di Maria was a good player. but the circumstances and the context surrounding his move to Man United, he didn't want to come to Man United. Let's remember that as well, right? He cried when he left at Real Madrid. He was forced out of Real Madrid. That's another thing, you know? So I don't mind, you know, looking at players and criticizing players. You know what I mean? Carrick has won 9 since January the 14th, while Areola has won 5. Carrick is clearly the more talented guy. Miracle Carrick, you know what I would say, Miracle? We have to be very, very careful about new toy syndrome. You know, we want a new toy. It's refreshing, a new manager. Look, for me, you're looking at Areola, and you look at Areola's history, and you look at what has Areola achieved in the game, number one. Who has he managed? Number two. He's managed in the Cypriot League and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So why would Areola come to Man United and he doesn't know nothing about Man United, no historical connection to Man United, and go into Man United and set the ground running? And that's what I would say about that, and hit the ground running. That's what I would say about that. You might as well keep Carrick. Like I said, the only 2 managers I would pick ahead of Carrick are Nagelsmann, just about, but 100% Luis Enrique. If it's not those 2, we give Carrick a shot. But what I would say, to protect Manchester United, in case things go tits upwards, to protect Manchester United, I would say give him a year contract, reevaluate it after a year. And then if he's doing well, fingers crossed he is, and then we give him a further year, or further 2 years. Mandem. Banter has superstar mentality, but his injuries have also derailed his momentum as he tries to build on his form. It doesn't help that he keeps getting left out of the team, though. He keeps getting rotation, you know. But like if you remember the Euros, and he scored that amazing overhead scissor kick, guys. I think it's Slovenia against Slovenia or Slovakia. And that's the talent that he has. He's got the capability to do things like that, you know. Gregory. The Forest keeper had a full stretch save earlier. Yeah, he done it. It was straight at him, though. The craziest appeal of Demiria at the time, we believe his troubles were drug use related. He had no drug use related. This is the thing where you believe things and stuff. You know, he went on to win the World Cup after Man United, you know, and he was a good player. And maybe under Alex Ferguson, he would have went on to do better things. Now, maybe Alex Ferguson would have protected him a little bit better in regards to him and his burglary. And I understand that on a human level. I do. However, I feel the way Di Maria left Man United wasn't nice on the club. It wasn't. And that's why he's not liked by the football club. And that's what it is. But by the fans and stuff like that. You know? But, yeah, very excited when he came to the club. Very excited. Unfortunately, some of the most exciting transfers we ever had in the last, well, not ever, but in the last 15 years have flopped. I was very excited about Pogba. I was thinking about Pogba. I was thinking Pogba. I was thinking Lukaku. I was thinking, what's his name? Who signed? Schweinsteiger and all these players. And I was thinking about Man United and during that period and thinking, not Schweinsteiger, it was Lukaku. It was Ibrahimovic and Pogba. That was probably the most excited I've been under Jose Mourinho. I was like, guys, we're going to win the league. You know, we're going to win the league. Didn't materialize, did it? Even in Spill the Beans, Lou, or Spill the Beans. Why do I'm so English? I keep saying Spill the Beans. Spill the tea, Lou. There you go. No, us English, we don't think about beans all the time. You know what I mean? Absolutely not. But yeah, even though I just contradicted it. But yeah, guys, I would say that, you know, when we signed Pogba and we signed Lukaku, Ibrahimovic, who's the other defender we signed? What's his name? I always forget his name. You know? Yeah. Even under the problem with Louis van Gaal, we signed Radamel Falcao, right? We had Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin, and all these Di Maria as well. And we matched it with Tyler Blackett, Bothwick Jackson, Paddy McNair. You know, so we had basically half a good team. No, I mean, we had half a good team, basically. So he had the good players we signed, but then he'll fill up with the young players. And fair to look, I'm going to give credit to Louis van Gaal. Fair to him, he still won the FA Cup, though, didn't he? This is more than Arteta has done. It's more than Arteta. Get him out of my club. Guys, can I be honest with you? I want to be honest. This is an exclusive for you guys. Isn't it? It is an exclusive. I'm going to tell you from the heart, right? I'm going to tell you this. When I listen to Arsenal fans, I'm very quiet. I don't speak much. I listen a lot, right? And what I would say about Arsenal fans when I listen to them in my head is like, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Honestly, just please shut the effing hell up for 1 minute. They just sit there and they're just going bloody, 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 blah. Bloody, 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 blah. That's all they do. It's just nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. I can't deal with it. Like, you know, honestly, every time, like Arsenal, you know, I think I said it with Jay-Z, didn't I? You know, the type, loud as a motorbike, but wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. Arsenal, I can't deal with them, honestly. And in my head, if you knew what's going in my head, if my head had a volume and you can hear what's going in my head, you would not even know. Hopefully, some of them are not listening because it probably relates to them. Richard, give Carrick 1 year and a rolling contract. And I agree with Richard here. You see that there. If we do decide to give Carrick the job, for crying out loud, please have it a rolling contract. Have a rolling contract. Give him a year, right? And reevaluate it. Innit? What happened to probation? Not the prison probation. I mean, like, you know, the probation when you go to get a new job, you get a 6-month probational period. Why don't we have that in football? Why is everything so backwards in football? You get sacked, you get 20 million. Goodness me. No wonder managers don't perform. I get sacked, I get 20 million, I'll be good. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, isn't it? Di Maria, 2000. Yeah, yes, Gregory. Very well of that. Does it mean the same? It does actually. Spill the beans does mean the same. If you say spill the beans, yeah, you're actually it's gossip, isn't it? You got the gossip there. It's so good to watch a game where teams have actually won the Champions League. Yesterday, there was 0 Champions Leagues on their shirt. Yesterday, 0. Atletico Madrid and Arsenal, 0. Play on, guys. We are underway in for Forest against Aston Villa in this nostalgic European semi-final, guys. Cancelling each other out. This is the definition of cancelling each other out at the moment. Already a foul here. Morgan Rogers with the foul. Hutchinson is on the floor again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing time and time again, then expecting different results. What a cliche, eh? The definition of insanity. Well, Man United are the definition of insanity. Definitely. If they go and get Carlos Baleba, definitely insanity. Definitely. Big up, Raj. Long ball by Nottingham Forest. Headed back into the box, and it's safely in the hands of Martinez there. Honestly, I'm being honest with you guys. I'm tired. You know why I'm tired, guys? I'm not moaning, but I'm tired because I keep seeing these beautiful Man United jerseys being released. I like Adidas. I've always been a fan of Adidas, but I made a promise to myself many, many years ago that I'm not going to buy any more Man United jerseys. It's over. Why does Unai Emery always look like he smelt something really bad? He's always like, it's either that or he's disgusted at you. He always looks like he's disgusted at you, like you've done something really bad, and you know, it's like your dad when your dad looks at you and you're like, he's disappointed in you, very disappointed in you. That's how Unai Emery looks like. He either looks like that, or he looks like a vampire. Is it already half time? It is, mate. It is. Right now it's midnight for me. Look at that time, guys. It's midnight for me. Look at that flashing light. You know, you see that flashing light right there? I can't see that flashing light in my naked eye. I can't see that, but you see that? Why is that flashing? Oh, it's finding out that it's flashing, isn't it? Oh, it slowed down. There it's going again. Are they listening to me? Right, let me just have a look. By the way, it's Braga of Portugal 1, Freiburg 1, and it's still Crystal Palace winning 1-0 away to Shakhtar Donetsk. I don't know where Shakhtar Donetsk play these days. I know they're a Ukrainian club, but I do know that they had to move because obviously the political problems over there. What team is playing well? None of them, mate. None of them. I'm going to be honest, guys. I was excited about this game, but I'm getting a little bit of PTSD with the game yesterday. You know, yesterday was an absolute horror. I was contemplating plucking my eyes out with a spoon because the game was so awful, guys. Oh dear, what do we do? Greg, the price difference on our defense: Diego Dallo, 2020 million, 2020; Harry Maguire, 80 million, 2019; Mateus de Ligt, 50 million, 2020; Lewis. Gregory, why are you telling me that? Greg, why are you throwing all these numbers at me? It's midnight, mate. Here we go. Anana. I hate even saying Anana. When I say Anana, something just goes down my spine like. No, it's cleared away. Yeah, I got serious Anana withdrawal syndrome. Spill the tea, Lou. I think that's what Chelsea did with Senior probation period. He should be in prison, the probational period. He should be. Yeah, Messina, yeah. But then again, you're a victim of your surroundings, isn't it? To be honest with you, and never the right manager for Chelsea. Never understood why they didn't just go for Cesc Fabregas. I don't understand that. You know, I don't understand why they didn't just go for Cesc. Frauds, man. Nottingham Forest. Hutchinson's on the floor again. He spent more time on the floor than he has actually playing football, this guy. Yeah, guys, don't forget, I will be doing the World Cup this year, right? I will be doing the World Cup. I've got people over there in America, including my brother, by the way. He's over there. He's American citizen and he's married over there and everything. No, he didn't just marry her for the past. Anyway. Yeah, I'm doing the World Cup, so I'm going to have lots of footage from the World Cup. There's going to be lots of things going on. However, like I moaned about it yesterday, where I am, I'm currently in the United Arab Emirates, you know, Dubai and that. So I'm currently there. So basically, it's like one game kicks off at 11 p.m. The game after that kicks off at 2 a.m. Then there's a game at 5 a.m. And then there's a game at 6 a.m. No, not 6 a.m. 11 a.m. Where do I find the sleep? That's the question of the day. What did Marco Senesi already deal with Spurs if they avoid relegation stay up? They haven't done a deal yet, mate. They haven't done a deal yet. Oh, my ass has gone numb. They haven't done a deal yet. They haven't done no deal yet. Nothing. I wouldn't mind him on a free transfer. I think it'd be advisable for Man United to do that. 970 goals for the GOAT. Only needs 30 more goals to hit 1,000 goals mark. That's a crazy achievement. And still World Cup to play. He's the GOAT, mate. He's the GOAT. Lionel Messi is a media GOAT. Ronaldo's the real GOAT. Shot, tame shot, straight at the goalkeeper. Hutchinson with the tame shot. Another cutting merchant. Aston Villa playing it dangerous. Onana is a free kick to Nottingham Forest. Greg, I understand your desire to not give any of your money to the Glazers. No, I don't, mate. No. One thing I'm not a hypocrite. I'm a man of my word. I don't ever go against it. And I created the 58th minute walkout a few years ago. I went to the Wolves game at Old Trafford, and at 58th minute, I walked out the ground. A few of us did. Fair play to a lot of people, but it was very difficult to do. And I have always been against the Glazers and what they've done to this great football club, you know, and the way this club has been treated, the stadium and everything like that, you know. I will never change. United need to sign all the action midfielder to play along Mainoo Sal, Richard, an all-action midfielder. Man United need a midfielder that can actually control a game, can actually, you know, make an impact on the game. That's what we need. Not come on and the whole team collapses like a ton of bricks. You know. Aston Villa players coming on. Is it Onana? No. But anyway, Hutchinson's taking a corner for Nottingham Forest here. Cross comes in, headed away by Aston Villa. You know, there should be a new rule in football. They should say after about a certain amount of time, after like the 60th minute, 5 players from each team have to come off for like 10 minutes. Cross comes in. Imagine that. 5 players of each team come off for 10 minutes. Or no goalkeeper for 10 minutes. Samuel, we need a Don Hussam meltdown on Sunday after the match. Don Hussam, my good brother, is playing the Man United Liverpool game down. He's tactically trying to play me here, right? He's given me pre-excuses. He's saying that we don't really care about this game. This season has already been a failure. It's already been a failure. It's, you know, we're done with. I don't care. But I guarantee you this: if Liverpool beat Manchester United, all of a sudden the game will be like the bloody Champions League final. Every single one of them Liverpool fans will be on their streams, cooking with their thumbnails like this. Everything, you know, you'll see it. Don't give me that malarkey. I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. You know, it's playing the game. You know what I mean? You're playing the game. You know, I've been there. You know what I mean? I made a list. It's 3 p.m. here. Well, Gregory, you're going to be doing my watch-alongs in America, mate. You're going to have to learn how to do watch-alongs, mate. You're going to have to do Jordan against Bolivia and things like that for me. There you go, mate. You're going to have to do that. Play that game. Rajat, according to class, it's going to be on right now, bro. According to class, it's going on right now, bro. Who's class? Is that Klaas? Is he Dutch? Klaus? Classico. Spill the tea. Legend. Me too. Every time the comms say Onana. Yeah, every time they say Onana, I get this really fuzzy, weird feeling, you know, honestly. Onana's off the pitch. Onana looks injured. It's not good news for them. He's their main player in midfield. I mentioned his name again, you know, and you get a little fizzy thing down your spine. Here come Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest will really be feeling that they need a lead in this game to take back to Villa Park. I've been to Villa Park a few times. I once went to an awards ceremony at Villa Park. People don't know I was in the music industry 20 years. I managed my brother, Reds, REDZZ. Check it out on YouTube. Yeah, and was doing YouTube a long, long time ago, before most people did it. And went to Villa Park, went in the VIP at Villa Park. Honestly, it's like 1980s. Shot. Oh, is it a save or is it hit the post from Aston Villa? Ollie Watkins. It was a save. Well played, son. Well played, lad. It was a save. I went straight at him, though, to be fair. Let's not give him too much credit. Cross deflected. Scuffed it, really, didn't he? He scuffed it, really. That should have been a goal for Aston Villa. That's similar to the chance of Nottingham Forest in the first half. Yes, guys, don't forget to follow Lou. Don't forget to subscribe to her channel. Great content every single day. So don't forget to do that. Cross, and it's cleared away. Oh, there you go. Gregory. No way. No way, Greg. Oh my, no way. You serious? Gregory, she's been on the channel. Lou has been on the channel, Greg. I asked her to come on the channel because I like her content. See? It all makes sense now. Pull it all together. It all makes sense. You know, there we are. Big up, Greg. Aston Villa, you're doing it to me, man. They're doing it to me. That's 100 and how many? 100. My maths is really bad. 180 minutes of football that I will never get back. Hello, 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 hello. You know, they already did live about a week ago. Big up Rajat. See, Rajat screwed on, Greg. Rajat screwed on. First time on your stream, what are your thoughts on managerial position? Big up, younger mate. I'm feeling this is a trick question because I feel like if I give you the wrong answer, you're going to go F you. Then I don't want your channel anymore. Look, what I would say is my stance on the managerial position is wait until the end of the season. I personally don't think Carrick is tactically inept enough to manage Manchester United. I've seen red flags, and those red flags, I don't know if I could envision him turning it around into a good brand of football. Now, this season, football doesn't matter, I know, right? But next season, it does. And do you honestly feel that he's going to be the right manager? Do you think he's going to be the right manager? He did come out and say today there was a report saying that he's playing based on the players that he has. He's catering towards those players at the moment. And that's why he's playing this brand of football. This is what he's saying. Is that a defense mechanism? Is he being honest? I wouldn't be surprised. But what is his style of football? Because I look at Steve Holland. And I know that Steve Holland is a terrible coach. He's a very negative coach. I know that. He's probably good at talking, but he's a very negative coach. England will tell you that. I'm English. I would tell you that. No. My cross comes in. My wife's Italian, right? And when we were watching the Euros final in London, even she said England should win this easily, because Italy are not the team. And it's proven since then because they haven't qualified for the tournament since then, have they? Italy, of course, beat England on penalties and England flopped. England folded. England were negative. England went 1-0 up and they didn't kill the game off. The reason is a big part of Gareth Southgate, absolutely. But a massive part was Steve Holland. A massive part was the way that we set up the team. We set up the team pragmatic to not lose, to not concede a goal. And then obviously when you sit back and you play negative football, what happens? They equalized. And then when you equalize, then you got a task on your hand to flip the mentality like, oh, actually, we better attack now because we might lose. You see? Always got to be positive in football, I would say. Rajat, come on, a forfeit. It's 0-0, 1-1 draw, end it. I know, mate. Jesus, Igor Jesus, definitely. Has there ever been a game in football where there's been Jesus, Muhammad, and Moses playing? I think there was once. I think there was a game. Peace be upon them all. Yeah, I think there was a game. Liverpool without Mohamed Salah on Sunday. Good. He scored 16 goals against Man United. I'm glad he's not playing against Man United. He always turns up against us. Yeah, 16 bloody goals. There's some teams in the Premier League who don't score 16 goals all season. He scored 16 goals against Man United. I'm glad he's retiring. Get out of here. At least I didn't suggest you have Lou a co-host with you, Sal. I don't get that. You're really twisting my brain today. Just your general thoughts. Welcome to the stream, though, Rana. It's good to have you here. Welcome to the family. Welcome to Stretford Post. Smash a like. Yeah, we have good conversations. Well, that's it. Basically, I think that Man United have to be smart. That's it, and not get overly persuaded, overly giddy, overly zealous in regards to Michael Carrick. I think we have to look at things critically. I think we have to look at things maturely. I think we have to analyze every single nook and cranny in regards to what Man United do this season, and analyze every single game performance, how we won the game, were we lucky, blah blah blah, because I don't think we're playing well. I think we've had a couple of games where we played well, but that's natural. We haven't played well majority of the games, which I'm a little bit concerned about. About 28 minutes to go, guys. It's still Nottingham Forest 0, Aston Villa 0. Aston Villa. Yo, Sal is much worse than Lookman one-on-one finishing. Yeah, Lookman disappointed me yesterday. I was so annoyed with Lookman. You know that, honestly. He really irritated me yesterday. Honestly, I can't stand players who just bloody flop in big games. So another reason is because I don't like Arsenal. Probably I wanted them to lose. I was desperate for Arsenal to lose. I kind of agree with you. Carrick is grinding results. Yeah, he's grinding results. But you can't grind a title. And this is one thing I want. And I believe that we should be challenging for a title. We're Manchester United. And I know that gets thrown around like banter. But we are bloody Manchester United. And we should be challenging for the title. I've had enough of it. I can't wait 10 years, man. I've got this streak of grey hair going across my hair like that. How long before I actually get the full grey package? You know what I mean? I'm done with waiting now. I want Man United to win the league title now. All right? I don't want none of this. Oh, he's got results, He's got results. The problem is a lot of the supporters for Carrick, and I support Carrick, but in regards to the people actually blindly supporting, a lot of those people were people who were totally against Amorim. So now they overemphasize how much they're supporting Michael Carrick to add weight to their narrative against Amorim. That's why they blindly support Carrick and support him by hook or by crook, and that's what they do. And I think that's wrong. That's disingenuous. So that's a word I've heard a lot of times over recent days. Disingenuous. That Steve Holland is the low block merchant. He is. And you say it, my friend Rana, Ugam. I agree. He's a low block manager, a low block coach. If Carrick was to get the job, he needs to change his coaching staff. I mean, Jonathan Woodgate, for crying out loud, give me strength. Come on. No connection to Man United whatsoever. Cross comes in, cleared away by Nottingham Forest. Still nil. Guys, Nottingham Forest feel they need to get at least a 1-0 win in this game to take it back to Villa Park. Coincidence that Carrick is copying Arteta's set piece tactical setup. We don't crowd the goalkeeper though. Arteta crowds the goalkeeper and everything. He's an absolute definition of haram ball. Honestly. Apart from City and Arsenal games, we were playing very pragmatic. We are relying on a lot. And the reason that is because City and Arsenal will attack you. And it's very easy to counter-attack that. However, when you play against a low-block team, that's when you have to have the tactical nous. That's when you have the tactical brain to unlock the team. Now, when you're playing against a low block, a very big part of football is having fullbacks who can bomb forward, who can get forward, who can overlap. Now, what does the overlap do? It creates a mentality in the opposition defense that squeeze, right? Because when you got Beckham, when we used to have Beckham, we had Giggs and Beckham on the right, right? And that was hard enough for everyone. And then you would have Dennis Irwin or you'll have Gary Neville running on the wings, right? On the fullbacks. So the fullbacks don't know whether we're going that way or that way. We look at Giggs or we look at Beckham, we look at Irwin, we look at Gary Neville. What should we do? So they squeeze and then they create spaces on the wings and then you get the crossing. Now, this obviously is a problem at Man United because we don't do that. And when the low block come, we have one outlet. So when you play against a low block and you are just an inverted winger, it's very easy to defend against because you're just going in, cutting in, and it's not shooting. Going in, cutting in, shooting. No overlapping runs, no dangerous areas, no putting the defense under pressure. Now, I'm shocked that we don't look at this. We don't analyze this. We don't look at these kind of attacking areas, right? Because I'm seeing Man United get to a point, and it's almost like being in the deep end at a swimming pool. We get there and we're like, no, I'm not feeling this. Pass it sideways, pass it backwards, you know. And I want to see bravery. I really do, you know. Greg was trying to say that I could have sounded even dumber. I was trying to say that I could have sounded even dumber. You're not dumb, mate. Greg, you're a legend, mate. You're not dumb. Don't put yourself down. Results are overshadowing our performance. Yes. There's a potential penalty check here, guys. I'm just watching it here. So they're saying handball. They're saying handball for Aston Villa. So a potential penalty for Nottingham Forest. I'm just having a look. Well, I don't think so. No. I don't think it's going to be. It will be extremely soft, but it's the weak or soft penalties, to be honest with you, isn't it? It's the weak or soft penalties. Guys, just a clarification. It is Shakhtar Donetsk 1, Crystal Palace 2 now. Ocheretko equalised. It's going to be a penalty, guys. He's going to the screen. Ocheretko equalised. Kamada has given Crystal Palace the lead. Yeah, hands up. It's going to be a penalty. That's a penalty. Hands up. The penalty is going to be given. It's still FC Braga 1, Freiburg 1, guys. Penalty to Nottingham Forest, guys. Stupid from Digne there. What's your opinion on Palmer this season? Has he turned heads to United? I generally look at it in context. I don't think anyone's happy at Chelsea at the moment. I think the people at Chelsea, anyone playing for Chelsea at the moment, it's a very, very bad place to be at the moment. Why did he have his hands up like that? Ridiculous, silly boy. But was the ball out of play? That's the thing. He could have let it go. Anyway, it is a penalty to Nottingham Forest, guys. Nottingham Forest have got an opportunity to go 1-0 up in this tie. They will feel they need to if they're going to get through this tie. Wood will be taking the penalty. Hasn't had quite the heights that he started with, of course. Wood's going to take the penalty. Here we go. 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. They're 1-0 up, guys. 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. That has put the cat amongst the pigeons there. The cat is well and truly amongst the pigeons. 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. With about 19 minutes to go. A very good penalty. A convincing, very good penalty. Right, Jay, I got grey hair too. It's been a long time since I've seen United win the league 2013. How long can we see this club with another? We can't keep waiting, mate. You know what I mean? Jonathan Woodgate is a racist person, Samuel. Please don't use AI. I don't. What do I use AI on? Can I use AI for my face so I can do these boring this boring game or yesterday's boring game? I needed AI yesterday. That's when I needed AI. I needed an AI version of me. I don't use AI, no. If I use AI, it's probably just to improve quality. That's it. Hardly use it. I think everyone now with that chat GPT, that little effect there, everyone's using it. And I can tell it a mile away. I'm a video director, editor. You know, I did things without AI, mate. You know, I've got videos that I've edited on millions of views, mate. You know what I mean? I don't, and it's been on TV and everything. So you're talking to me, mate. Patrice Evra was an excellent fullback, indeed. Raja, do you think that Florian Wirtz has more potential than Cole Palmer? No. Rana, against a low block, we need high tactical players who precise passing. That's why I want Bruno G, Tuamini, and Wharton for our midfield. I don't want a PNP merchants. Problem with Bruno G is that Bruno G is 29 and he's going to be. It was a soft penalty, but it was a penalty. Can't have your arms up. No, Tuamini leaving means that Wodji will go to Spain, La Liga. True. and then Man City will get Anderson, isn't it? You know, Roger leaving, that means City gets weak. No, you know what's going to happen, Rana, is that what I'm hearing is that they want to sell Camavinga. Real Madrid want to sell Camavinga, Endrick, or Tchouaméni, which will contribute to Real Madrid buying Rodri, and that will contribute to Anderson going to Man City. And I think Anderson's a very good player, you know, and that's what I would say. 1-0 to Vola over Villa. Big up, Breen. Good to see you. 1-0 up the Forest. There you go, mate. 1-0 up. Villa will at least want a draw today. It sort of adds a bit of excitement about the second leg. You know, when there's something like you have to catch up, they have to go for it. Villa want. Yeah, sorry, I just read that one. History Channel. Who are your top picks for manager position? Luis Enrique, Nagelsmann. That's it. That's it for me. I don't trust anyone else. Sorry. Unless it's Ancelotti or something, I don't think we're going to get him. And I think it's a little bit late to get those type of managers in, you know, I would say, wholeheartedly. Creep in. What's going on? Has anyone said you look a little bit like Ray Romano? Who's Ray Romano? I've had people say I look like a lot of people. A lot of people I look at. I used to look like Al Pacino back in the day. People used to call me that. What else do I look like? Who's Ray Romano? I'm going to have a look at this. You better not be dissing. Wait, 1 second. Ray Romano. Right. Ah, mate. No. No, don't go there, mate. Look at him, mate. He's an absolute, he looks like he's been in a cave for 5 years. Mate, look at his nose. Oh, mate. No, mate. Mate, there's a reason he's only done bloody animated movies. You know that? Ice Age. You know, I know him. Everyone loves Raymond. I know who we mean. But since then, why are you hating? Abbott is on for Nottingham Forest. You've gone down in my estimation, creeping death. Honestly. We need Angelo Stiller, Orient Tchouaméni, and Keith Schmidt. We need a lot of players, mate. Well, for me, I mean, that's subjective. For me, I look at that man and I look at a guy who I wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley. You know, I know who he is. I remember from Everyone Loves Raymond. I do remember that. Good header, wide. No, I don't look like him, actually. I'm actually more of a, I've actually got more of an olive complexion. Breen, love the Maradona. Big up, Breen. Good to see you. That's actually from Naples. It is real. It's not green screen. Someone said I got green screen. They're idiots, man. They just want to hate. Look, guys, I think this looks more like me. Don't you think? I think this looks more like me than Everyone Loves Raymond. Someone said, is this you? Obviously, they haven't been watching football in life, you know. So, yeah. I wish I had that kind of hair, though. I wish I did have that mullet there. I've got a double crown. That's my excuse when I say, "Oh, you got a bald pot. You got a bald patch." You know what I mean? I better not smash it. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, someone said, "Oh, you have green screen." I read the comments sometimes when I'm on for streams. Why has he got green screen? I don't know. Flipping green screen. You know, that green screen. Look at this. Oh, is that green screen? Yeah. To be fair, the last time I saw him was about 20 years ago. I didn't realize he's gone for full caveman. There you go, mate. Exactly. He is gone full caveman. Gone great grey caveman. Why do guys do that? Shave it off. Shave it off, mate. Grey. It's grey. Big up, Bree. Kind of have a similar hairstyle to him, maybe. Do you think you look like Paul London from WWE? Now, those who know me, they know I'm connected to the WWE. Right? I was on WWE Raw for an episode in 2011 with my brother. And we contributed towards a very controversial situation in the WWE. And I've had Joe Hendry on this channel, by the way. Big up the WWE. I've had Joe Hendry on the channel, and congratulations, Joe Hendry is doing very well. You know, but I don't know who Paul London is. I'm going to look at Paul London now. I'm telling you guys. What the flipping? That looks like a Timo CM Punk, mate. That's a Timu CM Punk. What the hell? Cafe did then. Paul London. You guys, man. Honestly. Seb Hoynes would be my pick. His style is similar to Klopp. I have been watching him at Stuttgart, and in most of his games, I was impressed with Stuttgart, to be fair, Rana, last week against Freiburg. I did the watch along for that game. I was very impressed. But I don't think we hire young up-and-coming manager. I would rather him than a lot of people. He's a good manager. I agree. Good shout, Rana. I'm obsessed with Tonali, to be honest, and I think he is better value for money personally. He would be a great signing. And other clubs wanted him as well. Nagelsmann was second choice. He's a top manager and has managed a big club already. True. Very outspoken, though, with the board put up with that. Ped Martinson's in. It does take guts, yeah. So basically, here's what happened. I was on WWE Raw with my brother, who's a rapper. So the part of the promotion was at the O2 Arena in London. R-Truth has a moment where he goes crazy, right? He loses his WWE title shot. So what happens is that he goes crazy and he beats up a wrestler called Morrison, right? And he goes around the ring and he has to come to us and he goes, "You got a cigarette? You got a cigarette?" And we have to give him a cigarette and then we have to give him a lighter. Right? So we give him the cigarette. He goes, "You got a light?" We give him a light, and this is live on WWE Raw. And then we go like that. And little did we know that smoking inside buildings is illegal in England, by the way. Right? So what happened is that they had to use that and try and make it out that R-Truth is crazy. That is, stuff like that. And they sort of covered it up and everything like that. But it's on YouTube. You can see it anyway. They don't show the full thing because of that actual episode, but you see us there. And you see him with a cigarette, but you don't see him lighting it and stuff like that. Will take Morgan Gibbs White as a replacement for Bruno Lee? No way, Jose. No, I won't. He's actually, no, thank you, mate. I'd rather take Rodrigo Mora, Arda Güler, those type of players. Right. It's a free kick to Aston Villa here in a dangerous position. Aston Villa will feel that we a little bit aggrieved by the penalty, but they've got the corner. Cross comes in, sorry. Cleared away by Forest. Big up. The Nagelsmann is a great candidate when he was fired by a minute, but was undefeated when it came to Champions League because he fell out with a couple of the people there, innit? I think he fell out with Oliver Kahn, if I'm not wrong. He fell out with Oliver Kahn and stuff like that. It's still 1-1 between Braga and Freiburg. It's still Shakhtar Donetsk 1, Crystal Palace 2. A magnificent result for Crystal Palace, to be honest. Very good result. A magnificent result there. If it does indeed end that result, that's a brilliant result from Palace. Guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you could be as kind to do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Smash a like on the video and all that jazz. Why don't clubs recruit future managers and put them in coaching staff? That's what Barcelona and Real Madrid do. That's what they do. You know, they do that because they train them young. What Man United need, Man United need a structure, innit? They need a structure, and that includes the players and the manager. You know, so you're training the future manager, and you're training, you know, like Arteta was at Man City, isn't it? Pep Guardiola's child, isn't it? From Morgan Gibbs, right? Yogam, why are people against Nagelsmann? He is very adaptable and better credentials than Carrick. He had took a relegation South of Ireland Champions League. Here come Nottingham Forest. Chance. We're definitely not. I'm not against him, Yogam. I like him. He's my top 2 to replace Carrick. And it's straight in the arms. Straight in the arms. RB Leipzig to their first ever semi-final Champions League. And you know one thing about it, Rana, is that Vivell is connected to Nagelsmann. So I think that is a real possibility. I would prefer Nagelsmann as well, mate. Absolutely. That's what you call proven. You know what I mean? That's what you call proven. Here come Forest again. Forest played pretty well, even since the goal. The crosses come... I know. Don't think Jose Mourinho is the right appointment. No doubt he has experience to deal with, but he's big ego name players. Jose Mourinho's just looking for another payoff, mate. He's probably cost teams more money than any other manager in the history of games. He's not the same manager anymore. Real Madrid just need to go and get Klopp. That's it. I think they will. He's already agreed, I think. Ruvan Nistelrooy should be striker coach at Manchester United. He should. Do you remember when he was managing Man United for that short period? You remember how he scored lots of goals? Yeah. United need to hire Enrique and convince him to keep Carrick on as coach so Carrick learns. No, if we get Enrique, we get his backroom staff, mate. I don't think he's going to keep Carrick. He's going to keep... If you hire a manager, you need to hire the whole backroom staff. Carrick will go on to... Carrick needs to go to another club. That's it. And, yeah. Still 1-1 between Braga and Freiburg, of course, guys. Still 2-1 to Crystal Palace in the Conference League against Shakhtar Donetsk, guys. Still 2-1 there. 1-0 here between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. It's a very equal game, very level game. It took a penalty to change this, guys. It took a penalty. Of course, Digne will be kicking himself. What may as well happen, let Luis Enrique bring his own manager, staff, and his own assistant coaches here. That's what should happen. That's what will happen, trust me. They won't just bring in Luis Enrique and have Carrick there. No. Because that would definitely be one of the stipulations. If we interview Luis Enrique, one of the stipulations is going to be, right, you know what, I want my own team. You know. Dependent on will he ever leave PSG. He ain't signed a contract yet. So what I would say is that if he wins the Champions League again, what else is there to achieve at PSG? You know what I mean? Is there anything else for him to achieve? So what better incentive to go to Manchester United, a club he knows well, by the way, to go to Manchester United and bring Manchester United back to the top? I mean, what better incentive than that? Do you know what I mean? Rana. United fan clown Nagelsmann because he lost 5-0 with us when Oli was in charge. A very top coach as off days. Didn't Klopp lose 7-2 to Villa? Does that mean? People these days, they're very judgmental on things. I tend to look at the bigger picture, you know, and you can't judge a manager. Alex Ferguson lost 6-3 to Southampton. Alex Ferguson lost 5-0 to Newcastle. You can't judge, you know, it happens. I remember that game. However, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to doubt Nagelsmann because I've watched him for a while now. I've watched Nagelsmann for a while. I don't just say like get Nagelsmann for the sake of getting Nagelsmann. I think Nagelsmann's a very good young manager, right? And that's why he's managing Germany right now. And I would say that he would be my top 2 choice. My number 1 choice is Luis Enrique, though. That's my number 1 choice. He's number 2. Real Madrid to sell Vinicius Jr. Can I say something about Vinny Jr.? Overrated. There you go. Sorry, guys. Here come. Overrated, mate. Decent player. Like, there's a lot of decent players, but there's a lot of overrating going on with certain players. You know that? Overpricing, overrating, and stuff like that. Guys, we've got a few minutes left. Literally 3 minutes of this game to go. It's still 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. No, it has not been an entertaining game. Sorry, guys. But we're here. And guys, don't forget the match preview tomorrow as well, guys, in the afternoon. Nothing else for him to win. PSG win the league every year. Enrique would be a great coach at United. He would try and change the culture at the club. And if he's given the tools to do so as well, Markham, exactly. You know, and basically, what better incentive than to bring Manchester United back? Be that guy who took Man United back. You know what I mean? I'm the guy who brought Man United back to the top. You know what I mean? Imagine that. That is a big incentive, you know? And he would have statue built of him if he did that. If he got Man United back to the champions as champions of England on the Champions League as well, you know, because of the mess we've been in, you know, at the end of the day. Yes, there's nothing. What, French Cup, French League, Champions League, World Club Championship, done it, completed. The only thing stopping us getting Enrique is our board, is our net board. Is them. That's the only reason to stopping them getting Enrique. Here come Nottingham Forest. Here on the attack, on the right side. Cross comes in, great cross, and it goes a little bit long. It's picked up here on the left-hand side. Ball comes in from Morgan Gibbs right. Cleared away, but Aston Villa need to get out of their box a little bit. They've got a minute to go in this game. And it's straight at the goalkeeper for Nottingham Forest. Martinez gathers. Quick throw. It goes out wide here on the right-hand side. Good play there from Tillmans. Ball goes forward. It's a big chance for Aston Villa. He's got a chance here. It's a poor finish. Use your brain, Tillmans. Use your brain. Be more subtle. You know, be more subtle with the shot. That's all you have to do. Be more subtle. One thing I noticed with Nagelsmann is that when he had Dino Topmuller, I remember him in the coaching staff, he had a good results. But when Dino left for Frankfurt, results dipped a bit. Your assistant's very important, Rana. You know, Jose Mourinho used to have always the same assistant managers next to him all the time because it's the assistant managers that they trusted. Do you know what I mean? And you have to have that guy next to you that you trust, isn't it? Alex Ferguson always had a guy next to him that he trusted. But I like Nagelsmann. Let me just clarify. And this community like Nagelsmann as well, you know. And substitution for Nottingham Forest here. Jesus is coming off. Yeah, some people are good assistants. You know, some people are made to be assistant managers. You know, 5 minutes of injury time, guys. 5 minutes of injury time in this game. Yeah, some personnel are just designed to be good managers, and that's it. You know, they're designed to be good managers, good assistant managers. But when they get into managerial positions, they don't do as well. You know, when they get into managerial positions and stuff like that. So we've got 5 minutes, guys. We're already 1 minute nearly into that. 3-1 to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are on the brink of clinching a European final, guys. Crystal Palace, unbelievable. 3-1 to Crystal Palace. 1-0 to Rayo Vallecano against Strasbourg at the moment. 1-1 between Braga and Freiburg in the Europa League, along with 1-0 to Aston Villa. So at the moment, we're looking at a Crystal Palace against Rayo Vallecano European final. Who would have thought? Yes, he did, Gregory. He did spend his entire career there. Started at Real Madrid, by the way. Then went to Barcelona. That doesn't happen too often. Starting at Real Madrid, then going to Barcelona. Got about 4 minutes to go of the game, guys. Nottingham Forest won't be too disappointed. I think Aston Villa won't be too disappointed. 1-0's not the end of the world. They're going to take it back to Villa Park. 1 goal. I don't think they're going to be. It's not end of the world. It's not beyond the recovery stage, but they would prefer a draw here. They've got a corner. Tillmans takes the corner, cleared away. It's going to be another corner to Aston Villa. Another corner to Aston Villa here. Tillmans is going to take the corner again. Cross comes in. It's too long. Comes back out here. And it's gone back again. It's gone back again. It's back out here to Tillmans. This time the cross comes in, bent in, and it's straight at the goalkeeper. Marky Mark. We need another coach. I don't see Carrick throwing the hairdryer at these players. That's true. Why we need a coach to get rid of this toxic culture. It will always be the same. This is what the thing with Amram was, isn't it? What he was trying to do, trying to get rid of that toxic culture. And this toxic culture will come back. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Raja, what went wrong with Spain when Enrique came to coach? I don't know, mate. Not everything works out. You know, in life in general, sometimes you have to find your niche. You know, you have to find your niche. You have to find your home. You know, and that's what I would say. Sometimes people, like Luis Enrique is a young manager. He's learned. However, that all gets eradicated when you think about what he's done at PSG. Let's not forget that PSG never won a Champions League before he came, right? And they're on the brink of winning too, right? And he didn't build a team full of Galacticos. He built a young team. He brought players in that we would be lying if we knew who they were exactly when they went to PSG. You know what I mean? Rana, I've been watching a few channels, most of them riding the Carrick bandwagon. Watch when the results dip a bit, these fans will be asking for Carrick to get sacked. Same thing will happen with Volley. I agree, Rana. This is why I keep a balance, you know, and I call things as they are. You know, the problem is that people worship their opinion more than they support their football club. They want their opinion to be right. They didn't want Ruben Amorim, so they want to be justified in regards to the sacking of Ruben Amorim. Whether he want, I mean, I have, you know, whatever happened. But the thing is that they are basing their emotion more than, and their ego more than the football club. They are valuing that more than the football club. And I'm calling things as they are. If Man United played badly and grind out a result, I would tell them that they played badly and grinded out a result. I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to have an agenda. I'm going to tell them when we played well. Like I said, the only 2 games I've seen us play so far under Carrick is 2 good games. I mean, proper games was Aston Villa at home and Man City, right? Those are the only games I played. Maybe you can argue Arsenal as well. We played generally well. Other than that, I would call it out. We had 1 shot against West Ham, right? In 90 minutes. We scored in 90 minutes, right? We had a dodgy VAR against Crystal Palace in which we won 2-0. We scored a last-minute goal against Fulham. All right? We were bad against Everton. We were lucky Sesko scored a goal. We were bad against Leeds and we lost. We were bad against Newcastle. We lost against 10 men. We were bad against Brentford. We were outplayed. And generally, this is what it is. And you know, it is what it is, you know, and we have to tell it as the truth. Samuel, Alex Ferguson had Archie Knox, Brian Kidd, Carlos Quiros, Mike Fearden. True, that's exactly people. Full-time, guys, full-time. He has ended this game 1-0 in this semi-final of the Europa League to Nottingham Forest, guys. They've got the advantage to take into the second leg at Villa Park next week, guys. Aston Villa will feel a little bit disappointed. They didn't really turn up, didn't really create anything. But Nottingham Forest will be going into the second leg with a 1-goal lead. It's still all to play for, though. It's not at the end of the world. The lack of discipline towards Play FC, we should never allow that to happen once more. Exactly. Sal, please put on notifications when the stream ends. It helps here because it's like 2 a.m. in part of the world. Thanks. I don't upload my stream till the morning because I don't upload streams until I know the news. That's the thing. So Breaking Dawn comes in the morning. All you need to know is that Breaking Dawn is at 7 a.m. UK time every morning. That's all you know. Apart from Saturday, it changes, right? And I will let you know. I'll write a comment on YouTube. Just keep an eye on that. Breaking Dawn midweek, Monday to Friday, is 7 a.m. every morning. All right. So that's what it is. And then after that, I'll send a link if I'm going live later on in that day and stuff like that. You know? But yeah. You know. But guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. It wasn't the best game in the world. Again, I just want to read out some of the results, guys, in the other games. Let me just get these up. I'm going to read out some of the results. So the other results in the games, guys, it has finished, guys, Braga 2. They won the game, Braga, by 2-1. Braga 2, Freiburg 1. Guys, it has finished. It finished Rayo Vallecano 1. Well, that's still going on. It's still 1-0, of course. It's still 1-0 in that game. Let me just have a look. So the other, and of course, Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 0. It's finished. Shakhtar Donetsk 1, Crystal Palace 3 in the Conference League, guys. Absolutely. Now, guys, I want to thank everyone, new or old, for joining the stream today. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video. I'm off to bed. I'm hours ahead. What's the time here? It is 5 to 1 in the morning. I have to get up in the morning. So thank you, everyone. Guys, put your notifications on. I am live every morning, 7 a.m. UK time for Breaking Dawn, the latest and the greatest. Every morning I wake up very early. I get the news and I upload it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Thank you, Creeping Death. Thank you, Rana, and that. Thank you, everyone. Great comments, mate. Very good. And it's good to have you here, guys. Absolutely. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. Have a fantastic evening. Nottingham Forest 1, Villa 0. Second leg to go. All to play for. See you soon, guys. Peace.